Hey y'all, it's Sammy and Jesus. I don't know if you guys know this, but this is actually Jesus, and I worship him because clearly this little man can save my life. Alright, today we're going to be talking about icons. Is it okay to have icons? Hang on, let me get Coda's crazy butt. What you want? Are you on chips? Uno momento. Sorry, Coda wanted some pickle chips. Dill pickle chips, to be exact. Alright, so I wanted to talk about icons because I recently ran across a video of a pastor's wife, Protestant pastor, also the wife of a Calvinist, even though she's Armenian, just saying. Seems weird, right? You know, but whatever. As long as we all love Jesus, right? But she apparently was going to let her son get a cross, okay? And her son actually picked out online a crucifix, to which the parents apparently got upset about this and told him, absolutely not, you cannot have a crucifix because Jesus is not on the cross. Now, she actually showed a picture of this crucifix. And honestly, I don't have that exact picture, but what I do have is my rosary. So give me 1 second because I want to give you guys a really good example of this. All right, this is my crucifix. Can you see little Jesus? By the way, this rosary is from Blessed is She, and it's the most beautiful rosary. Can you even like make that out to be Jesus, or do you just know it's Jesus because it's a cross? Anyways, if you guys want a beautiful rosary, 10% off if you use my code SAMMY10. Anything Blessed is She, I'll put it in the description. I think it's in all my descriptions at this point, but can you even tell that this is Jesus? I can't. You know, it's not like the only reason why I know it's Jesus is because it's a cross and there's a crucifix, okay? But there's no real like image. It's hard to see. There's no real image of Jesus. It's just like a blob of like a body looking figure, okay? And I think it's absolutely ludicrous when when Protestants say that having Jesus on the cross is basically idolatry. That makes no sense to me. I'm not worshiping this. But you know what I am doing? I'm thinking about the life of Jesus and what he did for me. Now, I want to give you a really great example. If you're a Protestant, I'm going to bet money that you have no problem with having baby Jesus in a manger. Now, the reason why Protestants have a problem with us having him on a cross is because they say that he is risen, he is not dead, and therefore us having him on the cross is kind of like we still are pretending like he's on the cross. But if you want to hold to that ideology, then you need to hold to the same ideology that if you're putting little baby Jesus in a manger, then I as a Catholic can come to you and say, do you think baby Jesus is still in a manger? And you would probably look at me, roll your eyes, and just walk the other way. You'd be like, I don't even have time for this because it makes no logical sense. And so that's kind of like my point of view when it comes to having a crucifix, whether that's at church or whether that's on a crucifix like on my rosary, or it's a picture of Jesus on this baptismal font. It doesn't matter. Icons in of themselves were said to be okay. The church approved them in 787 AD at the Second Council of Nicaea. They approved them because they said, as long as you are using that icon to reflect on, think about, and venerate that person who you realize is not in this icon, but is actually in heaven, you can do that with saints. You can do that with Mary. You can do that with Jesus. We can reflect on Jesus as an image here because Jesus came down and gave us an image. He became man, and so he put himself into imagery for us, right? Now, this is very important. I don't want anybody to miss this. This is why Jesus doesn't have to look the exact same, because you're not actually reflecting and like thinking about the visual aspects of Jesus. Just like if a Protestant says, you know, I sometimes when I pray, I try to imagine Jesus sitting beside me. Well, unless you're just imagining a really weird blob, I would probably say that you're probably imagining some kind of a figure, maybe like a certain length of hair, certain color, certain eye colors, certain like stature. Like you're probably thinking of all this while you were praying. And you wouldn't consider that some form of idolatry because you know that it's not the idea or the image that you have in your mind that you're praying to. You know that you're praying to Jesus himself, and that image just kind of helps you reflect and focus on and meditate on Jesus and what he did for you. And that's the exact same things that we are doing as Catholics. We're not sitting here saying that in any way, form, or fashion, the cross itself and the image that is on that cross is somehow saving us. We do not believe that. But we can still venerate Jesus by looking at and thinking about him through that image, if that makes sense. Now, my mom passed away like over a year ago, and I want to show you something real quick. One second. Now, this is a picture I have of her. It's older. It's like when we were kids, you know. But when I think about my mom, or I see this picture, I think about her. And I think about, you know, how much she loved us. It's Christmas. Like, I remember our Christmases together, obviously. But I think about, like, how much hard work she put into it and how she wanted to make it special and how much she cared about all of her kids. And I just think about these happy moments. And I think about her. Now, I can still talk to her. I can still say, like, Mom, I miss you. Do I actually think that this lady, this picture, can hear me? No, because I'm not naive that this is just a picture. But I do believe that my mom is alive in heaven. And so therefore, when I'm reflecting on and meditating on this picture and the image of her, who she was here on this earth, then it helps me to think about her when I'm actually communicating or talking towards her, I guess you could say. It's not really communicating because that would be necromancy. But I am talking to her and she is in heaven. Okay, so at least that's my personal belief. Catholics, please don't come at me and say, oh, that needs to be decided by the church. I don't think that there's anybody who's really lost a loved one that would sit down and say, I think they're in hell. You know, you'd probably say more likely than not they're in heaven. I rely on God's mercy and my mom's love for Jesus. And yeah, that's what I'm gonna use as my aspect. You know what? I'll never truly know until I get to heaven, I guess, or unless I desperately need a miracle and ask her to pray for me and it comes through, you know. But anyways, I just wanted to talk about that. I just wanted to reflect on that for a second because I'm confused why this is even an argument. And I think Protestants are actually missing out on something very, very valuable, because I have to say, when I am doing my rosary and it's not praying, you know, and asking Mary to answer our prayers, it's asking Mary to intercede for us while we meditate on the life of Christ and what he's done for us. And guess what? He wouldn't be here unless she said yes. So what we are actually doing is loving our Lord to the max. But when I'm doing that, I will, a lot of the times, if I'm starting to get distracted or something, I'm trying to like bring it back in and I don't have like an image right there to help me meditate on them or on that certain stage in his life that I'm trying to focus on, I will actually look at this itty bitty blobby looking Jesus, and it helps me to just sit there and go, wow, you died for me. It's something that triggers my brain to go, this is an actual event that actually happened in history, that actually has granted you salvation through this act of love. And so yeah, I don't see it as idolatry, and I feel like I'm rambling, so I'm gonna just shut up now. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Again, 10% off. Blessed is she. Use my code Sammy10. And there's so many amazing things on there. Lexi has the, this is Teresa, St. Teresa of Avila. She's my patron saint. And it says for an increase of joy. And also Lexi has the Blessed Mother rosary, and it says for an increase in humility. They have quite a few different rosary selections. They're really good. They're really sturdy. What I love about this, I'm going to brag on it for a second, is that there's no like little beads in between. I don't know if you guys have ever gotten a rosary where there's little beads in between, and then these gorgeous beads that are like, I don't know, made out of some kind of rock or something. I don't even know what these are made out of. But they'll like leave little black marks on these beautiful beads, and it drives me crazy. But blessed she did not put those little metal things in between. It's just these beads. And so this has stayed gorgeous. Literally, my kids pull on it. The rope is so sturdy, and they mess with it all the time. Coda like chewed on it when he was real young, but it has held up to a lot. Literally, they got syrup on it the other day. I just washed it off. It was fine. And it's just amazing to me how well this has held up. And so I really, really love them. And they're also super affordable. I feel like they sent me one for free, and that's the one I gave Lexi. But this one I bought myself, and I feel like it was like 30 bucks. 30 bucks, which is even better than the Amazon one that I got that actually blackened all the beads. So just saying, if you want one of these, go get one. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.